Okay, hi everyone. So what we're going to be looking at today is measuring angles, and we're going to be doing that using one of these devices, which is called a protractor. And you'll see on the protractor you've got two sort of outer ring. You've got an outer ring which goes from 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, and it goes all the way around to 180. So this measures the angles from 0 to 180 on the outside, and we've got this inner one as well that also goes from 0 to 180. And that is because there's 180 degrees on a straight line, so they go from 0 all the way around to being a straight line, which would be 180. And we're going to see how we measure these using the protractor. So here we've got our protractor, and we can see that we've lined up the middle of the protractor with the point between the two lines. So this is how we always start. So with this tool, it always lines it up for us to start with, which is really useful. So what we do, we line up our protractor 0 with one of the yellow lines. So we line up red line 0 with the yellow line. So that's now lined up. And so whichever one we've started the 0 on, so we can see this 0 is the outer 0, we're going to be measuring using the outer one. So you use the same one. So if you measured your outer 0, you're going to read off from the outer circle. So you go round the outer circle. So this is 90, so that's a right angle, and we keep going until we meet the other yellow line. We can see that is on 140. So we're going to type in 140 as our measurement. And we can see that that was right. The angle was 140, and we've done that first one. So the key is you line it up, and then you read it off. So let's do another one. Okay, so again, this one started off being lined up for us, which is really helpful. So it starts off, we line up the cross of the protractor with the joint between the two angles. Then we line up our red 0 with one of the yellow lines. And then, so we see we've lined this up with the outer 0. So what we're going to do now is we're going to read off from the outer edge. So we go round until we find the line. So 140 there. So we've got 141, 2, 3, 4. So 144. Brilliant. Okay, so now this one is a little bit tougher. So this one you can see we are lined up as in the cross of the protractor is at the right place, but you can see that this one starts at 50. So what we actually need to do is rotate our protractor. So we're going to rotate our protractor. And what we're doing now is we're lining up the 0 of the protractor with the yellow line. So you can see we've lined up the outer 0 with the yellow line. And I'm going to show you how to do this one two different ways actually, because this is slightly different. So I've lined up our outer 0 with the yellow line. And then, so because it's the outer 0, we're going to read off from the outer edge. So keep going around, we get to 100, so it's one more, and that's 101. So far all we've used is the outer edge, but we're going to actually see that we can use the inner edge as well. So let's do one using the inner edge. So we line it up with the 0 on the inner edge instead. So you can see I've lined it up with the inner edge 0. And then what that means is, when we're measuring from the yellow angle, we're going to read it from the inside edge. So we go round the inside. So that's 90 on the inside. We get to 100 on the inside. And we can see it's one after that. So you can see that again. So it's one after 100. So we can see it is 101. So you get the same answer whichever way around you do it, which makes sense because it's the same angle. But it's a good way to check. And personally, I prefer using the outer edge because I think it's a little bit easier to read off it. But you can use either. So it's worth being able to do both. 101 for that one. So we'll do one last example one, and then I'll explain the task. So we've got, again, it's not lined up with either of the red lines yet, but it is lined up with the cross at the centre. So let's rotate. Let's use our outer edge first. So we line it up as neatly as we can. There we go. So we can see that the red and the yellow line are lined up. And because we've lined it up with the outside, we're going to be reading off the outside as well. So we go round the outside. So that's 105, 106, 107, 108. And let's check using the inside one as well. So if we line it up with the inside 0, so because it's the same angle, we should get the same answer. So we've got 100 there on the inside edge, got 110 here, So we can see it is 1, 2 back from that. So it is 108.